Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangur langayate girim. Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all of you again to Gaura Katha Day 2. So yesterday we ended at the junction where Sachi Mata is about to give birth to Nimai. So this is such an auspicious moment, as we have heard, and it is explained that Srimati Sachi Devi, generally the period of pregnancy for normal people is always around 9 months. But Sachi Mata, she was in her 13th month of pregnancy. So it's a difficult time. It's very difficult for women who, of course, there's the pleasure of becoming, experiencing motherhood, but there is also a lot of physical discomfort that is, given at this time, inflicted upon this time. So it is explained that Sachi Mata, she was, in her 13th month, and there was no sign of Lord Chaitanya's coming out. So everyone was very worried that, of course, after the, mysterious demise of her 8 daughters previously, and then, of course, Vishwarup appeared to Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. But nonetheless, everyone was in a lot of tension that what is this time, why is such a, thing happening to Sachi Mata, that it is 13 months have passed. And in those days, there was no surgery or C-section or anything like that. It was all very natural process of birth that was, followed. So unless the baby is ready to come out, there was nothing that could be really done. So Sachi Mata and everyone was in a lot of anxiety. So Sachi Mata's, celebrated father is Nilambar Chakrabarti, who is a renowned astrologer, very, very, Pakka, Vaishnava Brahmana. And he was a very, very, renowned astrologer, very, very perfect in his astrological calculations. So Jagannath Mishra approached Nilambar Chakravarti, his father-in-law, to find out that what is, I hope everything is okay with Sachi Devi. So Nilambar Chakravarti calculated, made some calculations and said, yes, this child is actually waiting for a very, very auspicious time to come. So next month, this child will make its appearance. So the 14th month of Sachi Mata's pregnancy, Lord Chaitanya decided to appear. And as we were discussing yesterday, it was the day of lunar eclipse. It was a full moon night on the 18th of February, 1486, in the month of Falgun, which is February and March. Lord Chaitanya made his divine appearance. And when Lord Chaitanya made his appearance, at that time, everybody, the entire town of Nadia, was immersed in the Ganges. They were all taking bath because right after a lunar eclipse, it is said that, to create auspiciousness, to take away all the inauspiciousness of the eclipse, they take a bath in the Ganges. And everyone was chanting, Hari, 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 Hari. And Lord Chaitanya hurriedly came to take his appearance. He made his appearance at that time. And at that time, Lord Nityananda, he was around 12 or 13 years old. And he was actually traveling with that sannyasi all over India who had taken him from Ekachakra And Lord Nityananda came to know that his transcendental divine brother has made his appearance. So in the mood of Lord Balaram, Lord Nityananda made a tumultuous sound. He cried out so loudly. Everyone around Nityananda were taken aback. They thought that, some kind of a earthquake had happened. What was this earth-shattering sound? That was the way Lord Nityananda expressed his happiness for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. And in the meanwhile, that one personality, Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, who was so ardently, so devotionally praying for the appearance of his Lord, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, who was in Shantipur, a few, kilometers away from Nadia, from Navadvip. In the house of Advaita Acharya Prabhu was also Haridas Thakur. So both of these personalities, they came to know that the Lord had descended. The Lord had finally appeared. And in those days, there was no telephone. There was no text messaging. There was no WhatsApp. Not even letters. Letters would take days to come. So how did these personalities come to know? They came to know because they are so connected to Krishna. Krishna within the region of their heart revealed to them that I have come in response to your prayers. To answer to your prayers, I have made my appearance. So, Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya Prabhu immediately came to know that the Lord had finally descended. And Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he told his glorious wife, Srimati Sita Thakurani, that you must go to Nadia right now to the home of Srimati Sachi Devi and bless the newborn child. So Srimati Sita Thakurani, she was carried in a palanquin, and she's very, Advaita Acharya, he's actually, not just of course he's a Brahmana Vaishnava, but he was a very aristocratic Brahmana Vaishnava, very aristocratic. So Srimati Sita Thakurani was also very aristocratic, very, very aristocratic. So she would, she dressed herself very perfectly, wore very beautiful jewelry and, dressed herself very nicely. And she sat on this palanquin with plenty of gifts for the newborn child as well as Mother Shachi. So with all of that, Srimati Sita Thakurani came to Nadia, to Navadvip. And she went straight to the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra. And then the newborn child was playing on the lap of Sachi Mata. As soon as Sachi Mata saw that Sita Thakurani has come, she immediately handed over her beautiful golden child. She handed him over to the lotus hands of Srimati Sita Thakurani. And Srimati Sita Thakurani was so happy to carry the Lord of the universe in her hands, in her lap. She immediately took him on her lap, and she had brought these beautiful auspicious articles with her, like saffron paste, kesar chandan, which is, saffron mixed with sandalwood. She had brought, different kinds of turmeric paste, lots of very, very nice scented, fragrant oils. So with all of this combination, it is explained in Chaitanya Bhagavat that Srimati Sita Thakurani massaged the divine body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when she was doing this seva to Lord Chaitanya, she felt so much happiness. She felt so much bliss, as if she is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Gopal. And she could understand that this is non-different, this personality is non-different from Brajendra Nandan Sri Krishna, Sri Gopala Hari. So Sita Thakurani, named this golden child Gaura Hari. Jai Shri Gaura Hari Bhagavan ki Jai. So Gaura Hari was given, this name was given by Srimati Sita Thakurani. And Sachi Mata gave the name to her golden child. She named him Nimai. There was a lot of reasons why Sachi Mata named him Nimai. The primeval one being that, of course, he was born under the neem tree. And also, Sachi Mata said that my child is so beautiful. He is so enchanting. Have you ever tasted neem leaves? Neem leaves are supposed to be so bitter. If you have neem, if you drink water, after that, it tastes sweet. That's how, to the level that it is bitter. It's considered to be extremely bitter, bitter even than Karela. So Sachi Mata thought that my golden child is so sweet. He is so enchanting. To protect him from everyone casting an evil eye upon my sweet child, I'm going to name him Nimai, because neem is bitter. So if I name him something opposite, then no one will cast their evil eye upon my golden child, upon my sweet little child. So with that motherly affection, Srimati Sachi Mata had named her son Nimai. Then it is explained that how Sita Thakurani, of course, did all, gave lots of gifts to Sachi Mata. She gave her a lot of jewelry, beautiful silk saris, and she had brought beautiful silk garments, tiny, tiny little garments for baby Gaura Hari. And Lord Chaitanya was very beautifully decorated in those gifts that were very lovingly brought by Srimati Sita Thakurani. And then the neighboring ladies of Nadia, of Sri Mayapur Dham, these ladies, they were more attached to Nimai than to their own children. This one is something very, very illogical, right? Because we are more attached to our biological children. But to become attached to somebody else's child is very illogical. So it is bio-illogical. I heard this from Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj. He was using this terminology, bio-illogical. We are more attached, the ladies, just like even in Braja pastime, that the gopis of Vrindavan, they were more attached to Kanha than to their own sons, than to their own children. They had no explanation, their own biological children. They were not attached to them at all. They were more attached to Krishna. Similarly, these ladies of Mayapur Dham, they were having no attachment, or rather less attachment to their own biological children. And they were having more attachment to this golden child, Nimai. And these girls, these young, mothers of that friends of Sachi Devi, during the daytime, they would all, after their husbands would go off to work, and after they would send their children to school and everything, they would come to the house of Sachi Devi to just play with Nimai. And Nimai loved the company. He loved to get attention. So he loved the company of these ladies who would come to see him. And if these ladies would start talking to Sachi Mata and give less attention to Nimai, immediately Nimai would start crying. He would start crying like a young, just like young babies do. And when he would cry, these ladies would just clap their hands and say, Hari, 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 Hari. And when they would say that, immediately Nimai would smile. He would laugh. So enchantingly he would laugh that, just to see him laugh, the ladies would purposely neglect him so that Nimai would cry, and then they would make him laugh. They were so attached to Nimai. So in this way, It is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and by Vrindavan Das Thakur that Lord Chaitanya, his purpose, he came for propagating the Sankirtan mission of the Lord. It is said that Lord Chaitanya came with a garland. A very profound statement, which I heard yesterday, and I literally had tears in my eyes. I had never heard this before. So it is said that Lord Chaitanya has come with a garland. That garland is, the flowers are pure love of Krishna, Krishna Prema. And these flowers of Krishna Prema are strung on the string of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the garland of love that Mahaprabhu has come with. And this purpose of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the main purpose of his appearance, to give Krishna Prem to everybody through the chanting of the holy names, was started, his mission was started as a baby. Just like Krishna, his main purpose was paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, that he came to protect the sadhus and to destroy the miscreants. So at day 6, Krishna had killed Putana. Krishna killed Shakatasura. From his childhood, Krishna started, fulfilling the purpose of his appearance. And similarly, Lord Chaitanya, he also did the same. He started fulfilling the purpose of his appearance, which is to make everyone, jeno teno prokareno, somehow or the other, in some way or the other, to make everyone chant the holy names of Krishna. So even as a child, Mahaprabhu inspired everyone to chant the holy names. So day by day, the day came near for the name-giving ceremony. And when the name-giving ceremony was done, the house of Jagannath Mishra was decorated so beautifully. Sachi Mata was dressed in a beautiful white and red bordered sari, which is traditional Bengali sari. And Jagannath Mishra was dressed in beautiful white silk dhoti. They were, like the divine couple with a golden child in their arms. They were waiting for the name-giving ceremony, which was going to be done by none other than Nilambar Chakravarti, the glorious father of Srimati Sachi Mata. So Nilambar Chakravarti, he came and he started doing the astrological chart of the baby. And he saw a striking resemblance to the same Brajendra Nandana Krishna. That this Nimai, this golden child Nimai, his characteristics, his traits, his nature, his qualities are the same as Brajendra Nandana Sri Krishna. And seeing that, he concluded that the name of this boy will be Vishwambhar, because the entire universe is resting upon this personality. Vishwa Ambara means, Vishwambhara means upon whom the entire universe rests. So that was the name that was given by Nilambar Chakravarti to Nimai. That was his formal name, was Vishwambhar. Then there was another very, very qualified Brahmana who was visiting Navadvip, and Nilambar Chakravarti invited this Brahmana to also come and read the astrological chart of Vishwambhar. And this Brahmana came and he started glorifying, after he read the astrological chart of Lord Chaitanya, he started glorifying the baby, saying that this boy is destined to do great activities. He is meant to give so much pleasure to all of his family, not only his family, but to the entire people of the world. he's going to give happiness to. And at that point, they actually, both Nilambar Chakravarti and this Brahmana, they refrained from revealing one point, which was mentioned in Lord Chaitanya's astrology, in his horoscope. And that point was of the fact that Lord Chaitanya would leave home and accept sannyas. This would have been a heartbreaking thing for Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi to find out. So to not, give any pain to Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi on such a joyous occasion, both of these personalities, Nilambar Chakravarti and the Brahmana, chose to leave out this particular detail from the astrological chart of Nimai. Nonetheless, at the name-giving ceremony, after this name-giving ceremony was over, as per tradition, some articles were placed in front of this golden child. In different plates, different articles are kept, and the child is left, and they choose, whichever one they're most attracted to, and that, that is an indication to what the affinities of the child will be when the child grows up. It's not, of course, it's not like it's the absolute truth, but, it's a nice little custom that is done, and it's joyous, it's nice and fun to watch a child, going around to different places. So different articles are kept, like money, some coins, golden coins, silver coins are kept in one plate. There's some pens, pencils, all of these are kept in another plate. Then there's the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is kept in another plate. Then there is some weapons, that are kept to see if the child has any kshatriya qualities. Then there are some, grains, different kinds of other things that are kept. So different articles are kept in different plates, and then the child is left in front of them, and then they see where the child goes. So similarly for Nimai, such a thing was arranged. And Lord Chaitanya was left in between all of these different articles. And lo and behold, Lord Chaitanya, without even looking anywhere else, he actually crawled straight to where Srimad Bhagavatam was kept. And not only did Lord Chaitanya touch the Srimad Bhagavatam, he actually picked up the Bhagavatam and he embraced it. Lord Chaitanya embraced the Srimad Bhagavatam to himself. He just clasped it tight to himself. So this was how Lord Chaitanya, he did, this function of the name-giving ceremony. And then later, Lord Chaitanya gradually, grew up, and, some of his childhood pastimes I'd like to share in today's Katha. One of the most famous ones is the pastime in the Ganga. Lord Chaitanya, Nimai, so mischievous, just like Krishna. But Nimai was really, really mischievous. He was the son of a Brahmana, but still he was so mischievous. What he would do is that he would go to school. He would tell his parents that he's going to school with his friends. And then in the middle of the school, he would bunk his school and he would come to the Ganges. And that would be the time when the Brahmanas, they would offer their mid-morning, or their noon puja in the Ganges. And they would stand in the, waist deep inside the Ganges, and they would chant their Gayatri. So Nimai, what he would do is that they would go underwater with his friends. He would, dive underwater. And when these Brahmanas were standing, chanting their Gayatri, he would go and pull on the leg of the Brahmana and make them fall. And these Brahmanas would get so jinxed. They would not understand what is happening, that who is coming below. Imagine you're standing, inside water, inside the Ganges. Someone comes from below and pulls your leg and you fall. You just have, from behind they pull you, so you have a face down fall. The brahmanas would be so scared. What just happened? And Nimai was so expert of a swimmer that he would actually stay underwater, and then he would come out after a long distance, and then he would come out and wave at them. He said, "What happened to you? Why did you fall? How did you fall? My dear uncle, how did you fall?" And the brahmana would be totally confused that what happened? How did I really fall? One other time, there would be a brahmana who would be chanting Gayatri, in the middle of the Ganges, standing waist deep. They would chant their Gayatri. And Nimai would suddenly, he would come and he would be sitting on the shoulder of a friend, because Nimai was really, he was a baby, still a child. So, to be on the same level as the brahmana, Nimai would climb upon the shoulder of another friend. They would swim underwater and they would come right in face to face with the other brahmana. And Nimai would fill his mouth with Ganges water, and he would, when the brahmana is closing his eyes and chanting Gayatri, he would just go. And he would throw all the Ganges water from his mouth to the brahmana's face. And the brahmana would say, "Oh no, Nimai, you have contaminated me. Now I have to start my Gayatri all over again." And Nimai would clap his hands and laugh and laugh and laugh. Then one other time, Nimai, it is said that these brahmanas, they would make little shivalingas. They would make little shivalingas from in the Ganges bed, with the Ganges mud, the clay of the Ganges. They would make shivalinga and they would worship shivalinga right there on the banks of the Ganges. And Nimai would come and he would sit on the Singhasan of the shivalinga and he would say, "I am the master of Lord Shiva. You better worship me. Give me those offerings." And he would eat all the sandesh, the rasagullas, and he would wear all the garlands. And this brahmana would say, "Nimai, hi, what are you doing, Nimai?" And then Nimai would do another thing, which is the ladies would have a separate bathing ghat and the men would have a separate bathing ghat. So when the men would go inside, they would leave their dhoti and their kurta, they would leave it on the shore, and then they would go inside in their gamchas and their kopins, they would go inside. The ladies, they would leave their saris, they would just go in their, like their skirts, inner skirts they would wear, and they would go inside. So Nimai was so naughty, he would exchange the saris for the dhotis. He would put the men's clothes in the women's area and the women's clothes in the men's area. So when the men would come out, they would see, "Hey, where's my dhoti?" Nimai has taken it and then he's put it along with the saris, and they would come out and find saris instead of their dhotis. So they would be so disturbed that this boy Nimai, he is making our life miserable. Every day he comes up with something or the other. One day when a brahmana was, taking a dip inside the Ganges, Nimai actually just swam right above him. And when he got up, Nimai was sitting on his shoulder. So he says, "Ha, you are my Nandi and I am Lord Shiva. Now take me for a ride." Like this, Nimai would, trouble all the brahmanas. So these brahmanas, they decided that it's too much now, every day Nimai coming and troubling us like this. So let's go to Jagannath Mishra and let's go and complain to him that what your son is doing. So then all the brahmanas, they came to Jagannath Mishra and said, "This is what your son is doing every day. Not just 1 hour, 2 hours, for 6 hours every single day. This boy is just frolicking in the Ganges. This is what he's doing." So Jagannath Mishra heard and he said, "I am so sorry that my son is doing all of this. I didn't even know." So then one brahmana, he said, he was very angry. This is, like a really fat brahmana. And he said, "Jagannath Mishra, you know what your son did to me just now?" So Jagannath Mishra said, "What did he do?" So then this fat Brahmana said, I was taking bath in the Ganges, and I was doing like the swim stroke where backstroke, you do the backstroke where you're face up and you're lying down and you're swimming like that, doing the backstroke. So Nimai came and he sat on my stomach and he said, you are Anantashesh, I am Lord Vishnu, take me on a ride. This is what your son is doing to me. And then I was almost sinking in the middle of the Ganges. And like this Brahmana was, complaining. And Jagannath Mishra said, my innocent child is doing all of this. He picked up a stick and he said, today I have to go and chastise my son because, this is not done. So then the Brahmana said, well, don't go and chastise him. Actually, we like what he's doing. We enjoy it. That's why we also get, our main inspiration to go to the Ganges is also so that we can see Nimai doing all this mischief. We enjoy it, but sometimes it goes a little out. But don't beat him up. We don't want you to beat him up, but just explain to him that, maybe he should not do so much, So then Jagannath Mishra said, no. He is my son. And he would tell them in Bengali, he would say, Manush korte hobe. Manush korte hobe means I have to give him a good upbringing. I have to make him a proper gentleman. He is my responsibility to do that. I am his father. And then one of the Brahmanas who was present during Nimai's, name-giving ceremony, he said, well, the astrologer had said that your son has the same characteristics as Lord Krishna himself. So he is, Param Purush Bhagavan. How can you go and chastise him, Jagannath Mishra? So then Jagannath Mishra said, well, I don't care. He may be God. He may be the Supreme Lord. I don't care. But right now, he's my son. So I have to train him to be nice. So Jagannath Mishra he was very angry. He picked up the stick and he went towards the Ganges. And in the meanwhile, what had happened is, while these Brahmanas were complaining to Jagannath Mishra, Sachi Mata was also getting complaints from young girls whom Nimai used to tease and, again, the same way, he would just annoy them like anything. And the main thing that he would go and do with those young girls is that those young girls came to Sachi Mata and said that, my dear Mata, our parents, they tell us that if we want good husbands, that we should worship Lord Shiva. And whenever we go to the bank of the Ganges and we make the Shiva Linga, we start worshipping Lord Shiva. Nimai comes there. He eats up all our offerings. He, wears all the garlands that we make for Lord Shiva. He does all that. And he says, forget worshipping Lord Shiva, you worship me. You worship me, and if I become pleased, I will bless you, that you will have beautiful, handsome husbands. And from each of you will have 7 beautiful sons you will get. That is my assurance to you. You worship me. Don't worship Lord Shiva. I'll give you. You worship me. You make me happy. I'll bless you. I'll give you this benediction. And then the girls would say, no, Nimai, don't trouble us like this. If you trouble us like this, I will go and complain to Sachi Mata. So Nimai said, okay, you'll go and complain to Sachi Mata and you will not worship me. Then what I will do is, if you continue to worship Lord Shiva and if you go and complain to Sachi Mata, then I will curse each and every one of you. That each and every one of you will be blessed with a husband who has several co-wives. He'll be very old, ugly, and he'll have a lot of children from his previous marriages. That's how much, that's the kind of married life you will get. So you better don't go and complain. So then these girls would get very scared. But then one day they gathered up this courage and they came and told this to Sachi Mata. And Sachi Mata was saying, oh my Nimai, he is so innocent. How he's doing all of this, how he knows all of this. Okay, my dear girls, you don't worry. Don't complain to any of your parents. Don't tell them anything. I'll explain to Nimai. He will not trouble you anymore. So then the girls, They actually were leaving from the house, and at the same time they saw that Jagannath Mishra was also with a stick. He was going towards the Ganges, very angry. He was shouting that today I will not leave Nimai. So these girls, they secretly adored Nimai also. They loved Nimai. They really were helplessly in love with Nimai. So they said, no, we can't, see Nimai getting shouted at and beat up. We can't see that. So they took a shortcut to the Ganges. They ran to the Ganges through another direction, and they came to the Ganges where Nimai was frolicking and he was enjoying with his friends and, troubling these men. And then the girl said, Nimai, today you better run. Your father is on the way. He's coming with a big stick to beat you up. So Nimai started laughing. He said, ha, let him come, let him come. But when he comes, he'll not see me here. So then he told his friends, if my father comes, you tell him that I did not come here to the Ganges today at all. So the boy said, okay, Nimai, you go. So Nimai just dunk deep into the Ganges, and he came out from another side, and then he just walked away. He just escaped from the scene. And then Jagannath Mishra came and he said, where is my son? And the boy said, oh, Jagannath Mishra, Jagannath Baba, he is not here today. He didn't come, only we are waiting for him. Since that time, so long we are waiting. Can you please send him if you see him? So then Jagannath Mishra was surprisingly looking at the Brahmanas, and the Brahmanas were laughing and said, my dear Jagannath Mishra, he has already escaped from the scene. He has already gone. And Jagannath Mishra was saying, but today I won't leave him. I will really not leave him today. So Jagannath Mishra started walking back towards the house. And then Nimai, in the meantime, he took a different route and he appeared in the house. He came inside the house to Sachi Mata. And when he came inside the house, Sachi Mata noticed, my boy, he left with the same clothes. He is now back with the same clothes that he was wearing in the morning. And then Sachi Mata was, seeing his hair, that the girl said that he's there in the Ganges, but his hair is so dry, it's not even wet. And then Sachi Mata started inspecting his hands. His hands were full of ink from the school. If you take bath in the Ganges, all of this will go away, right? So Sachi Mata saw that Nimai's hands were full of ink, and his, dress was, dusty because he was walking on the road, a dusty road. So Sachi Mata still asked Nimai, where are you coming from? So then Nimai said, I'm coming from school, Mata. And then Sachi Mata said, Acha, you're coming from school. And then immediately Jagannath Mishra entered. As soon as Jagannath Mishra entered, Nimai saw that he's carrying the stick. So Nimai just sprang up from the lap of Sachi Mata. He just jumped up and he went and embraced Jagannath Mishra. He just went to the lap of Jagannath Mishra who was standing. He just literally jumped to the lap of Jagannath Mishra and he just tightly embraced Jagannath Mishra. And as soon as Nimai did that, all of the anger of Jagannath Mishra immediately evaporated. And he said, Nimai, my son, you are here. You are just coming from school. How? But you were supposed to be in the Ganges. These Brahmanas are complaining like these. These girls came and complained to Sachi Mata in this way. What have you been doing, Nimai? So then Nimai said, I actually didn't do all that. These people have coming and telling lies to you. So now I'm seriously angry. And now I'm going to go and fulfill each and everything that they told you. I didn't do till now, but now I'm angry because they're telling lies to you. Now I'll make sure that I'll go and do all this. So Nimai just jumped down from the lap of Jagannath Mishra and he ran to the Ganges, ran back. So then, of course, Chaitanya Bhagavat, goes on to describe this kind of leelas that Lord Chaitanya would perform so beautifully. And he would attract the hearts and the minds of the residents of Nadia in this way. So it is explained after this that Vishwarup, the elder brother of Lord Chaitanya, he actually was very disinterested in mundane life. So he actually left home to take sannyas. I won't get into the details of, how Vishwarup, would do, and what a beautiful relationship Vishwarup and Lord Chaitanya had, baby Nimai had. Actually, it is said that Nimai did not fear Jagannath Mishra. He did not fear Sachi Mata. He did not fear anybody. But he had a lot of respect for Vishwarup. If Vishwarup would say Nimai, Nimai would immediately, leave whatever he's doing, become very obedient brother to Vishwarup. So he was very, very affectionate. Both of them shared a very affectionate relationship. So when Vishwarup left home and he took sannyas, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata were disheartened. They were heartbroken. They were really in so much pain. And when this happened, when, Vishwarup left, at that time, they were so heartbroken that, baby Nimai actually came up to them and said, "Don't worry, Baba. Don't worry, Mata. I am here with you. I will fulfill the responsibilities that Vishwarup was supposed to do. I will take care of both of you. I promise you." And then one day, Jagannath Mishra, he actually, Nimai was a very brilliant child. We all know that he was a scholar. So Nimai was so brilliant that Jagannath Mishra one day, he actually felt very scared. And he told Sachi Mata that from tomorrow, I'm not going to allow Nimai to study anymore. He doesn't have to go to school anymore. So when Sachi Mata heard this, she was saying, why? Why are you saying like this? So then Jagannath Mishra said, no, because, if Nimai goes to school, he will learn the Vedas and he will also get a disinterest in, getting into family life. He will also become a renunciant. He will also leave the family and go away. He will leave us and go away. So I don't want, let him be illiterate. I don't care, but I want my son with me. That was the heart of Jagannath Mishra. So then Nimai's school was, he was removed from school by Jagannath Mishra, and that increased Nimai's naughtiness. He became more naughty when Jagannath Mishra took him out of school. It is explained that Lord Chaitanya, they would, during the day, they would go around Nadia, they would go around Navadvip, inspecting each and every house. And when they would go and see, that which house has nice banana plantations. Those days they have, in the backyards, they would have big, big banana plantations, banana trees and different other trees like that. They would go around during the day to do, like a inspection, that whose house they are like this. And then in the night, 3 friends, Lord Chaitanya with 2 of his other friends, they would actually cover themselves up with blanket and dressed up like a bull, they would enter into these gardens and they would make a massacre of this garden. And when, the neighbors would get up, the owners would get up, they would say, "Oh, there's a bull. And, Nimai and his friends, they would escape from there and they would clap their hands and say, "Yay, we destroyed their garden." So this was the destructive mode that Nimai was getting into. Another time what Nimai would do is, these homes, traditionally, these homes would actually be built in such a way there was no restroom inside the house. The restrooms would be actually out in the courtyard. It would be almost in the backyard of the house. It would be separate from the living area. No question of having attached bath. So when there was nature's call to be answered, they would all have to go outside their house, and they would have to go out and answer nature's call. So Nimai and his friends, what they would do, they would latch up the house from outside, so that anyone from inside is not allowed. They would bolt the windows, they would bolt the doors, and they would not allow anyone to come out. And inside the house, the members would not only have nature's call, but they would have nature's growling. nature shouting, nature screaming. It was so, we all have been through that every morning, that if we are, having to go and answer nature's call, we know how difficult it gets to control. So these were brahmanas. They can't just go in anywhere inside their house, in any kind of cooking pot or anything like that. They can't do that. So they would literally shout, Nimai, let us out. And Nimai and his friends, they would hear all this and they would, clap, and they would just enjoy all of this. And Jagannath Mishra would keep getting complaints, but he would say it's okay. At that time, Jagannath Mishra never chastised Nimai. Never ever did he chastise Nimai for all the naughtiness that he was doing. He didn't chastise him. And then it is also explained that Nimai, during this time, he would actually go every single day in the morning. Now, this was actually revealed to us by His Grace Jananivas Prabhu. Very, very special Leela. Now, those of us who've been to Mayapur, the current Mayapur ISKCON temple, if you've seen the Goshala area, one day we were all in the Goshala, and Jananivas Prabhu was, giving just like a small, talk to all of us. And we were all there. I was there with him. And I remember Jananivas Prabhu saying that this road, the road that is there right now, that connects Radha Madhava's temple to the Goshala, and through the Goshala we go to the Jalangi, and Jalangi is, Mayapur's Jamuna, it is called. We cross the Jalangi, and then there is the house of Bhakti Vinod Thakur on the other side of the Jalangi. And there's a, over there, it's called Godrum Dweep. That Dweepa is actually like the residence of all cowherd, people. So it is said, Jananivas Prabhu told us that this is the road that from Yogapeeth, every day in the morning, Yogapeeth is the residence of Lord Chaitanya. So from his residence, Lord Chaitanya would walk every single day at 6 o'clock in the morning. And he would take this road, through the Goshala. This road he would take, and he would cross the Jalangi, and he would go to the area where these, these cowherd men, the basti of the cowherd men would be there. And he would go there and have makhan, mishri, dahi, chas, buttermilk, yogurt, and butter. Lord Chaitanya would eat all of this and drink, all of this from the cowherd men in Godrum Dweep. So those Godrum Dweep, they are Vaishyas, by profession. So these Vaishyas, they would ask that, Nimai, my dear Nimai, you are a Brahmana and we are Vaishyas. It is not proper, beta, that you're coming here and taking milk and all this directly from our hands. You are a high-class Brahmana and we are, lower class, middle class than you. So you should not do this. So then Lord Chaitanya would, lick butter like this, and he would look up to them and say, I am also a Vaishya. Who told you I'm a Brahmana? Like that he would say. So, Lord Chaitanya, even as Nimai, Lord Jananivas Prabhu explains that even as Nimai, Lord Chaitanya did butter stealing pastimes also. And he did it on this road to Goshala. So next time you go to Mayapur, any of us go to Mayapur, make sure that you walk that road, because that is the same road that Lord Chaitanya walked every single day to eat makhan from the other side in Godrum Dweep. Very beautiful. So I thought I could share this little anecdote with all of you. And then another, eye-opening pastime, of course, which we all know, which prompted Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi to put Nimai back into school, was the pastime that Nimai did with the dirt eating thing. That one day, Sachi Mata, was sitting in her kitchen, and she was, cleaning up her kitchen. And the boys, the friends of Nimai, they came and they started, telling Sachi Mata that, look what your son is doing. He's sitting in a pile of dirt, where all the muchi vessels, everything is kept. That's where he's sitting. He's sitting on a pile of garbage, Sachi Mata. The Sachi Mata immediately ran to that place, and she saw that her son is sitting on this, all of the used, utensils that was used for cooking. In those days, every day they used new clay pots for cooking. It was not that wash and use, it was use and throw kind of cooking pots. So in earthen pots, they would cook, and once the cooking is done, they would throw away the earthen pots. So that was the standard of cleanliness in those days. So Sachi Mata's little Nimai was sitting in the pile of this, used pots and all the garbage. He was sitting over there. And Sachi Mata said, Nimai, what are you doing sitting in this pile of garbage? Come from there, come down. You should not sit like this, beta. You should come down. And then Nimai said, well, I don't know what is good, what is shuchi, what is muchi. How am I supposed to know? Everything is same for me. You don't want me to study. So how will I know what is good and what is bad? So immediately, of course, there's more dialogues to this, but Sachi Mata understood that Nimai is really wanting to study. So she actually requested Jagannath Mishra that, if our son has to go, he will go no matter what. But it is our duty as parents to not deny him proper education. So on the insistence of Sachi Mata, Nimai was again enrolled back into school. And this is from where we will start our katha tomorrow, that some of the youth pastimes of Lord Chaitanya as a Pandit, how Lord Chaitanya, performed his youthful pastimes. Now, some more of the childhood pastimes I just wanted to briefly mention is, of course, one of the most celebrated pastime is of the Brahmana who visited the home of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, who used to worship Gopal. And in the, when he came, this Brahmana was of very high standards, and he would cook his own meal. So Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi said, okay, you can cook your own meal. We'll make all arrangements and you can do that. And then this Brahmana made a beautiful offering, Chappan Bhog, he made for his Gopal deity, and he offered to Gopal. As soon as he started ringing the bell and he started making the offering, he actually, as soon as he opened his eyes and he saw on the altar next to Gopal that baby Nimai is sitting and eating the rice offerings. And the Brahmana said, hi, 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 hi. What is this? How can, this baby, take this baby away? He spoiled my offering to Gopal. So Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata come running in and they carry Nimai out and say, please, please, Brahman Devta, forgive us. This is not proper. I beg forgiveness on behalf of my son. He is very innocent, very young. Please don't take any offense. Please, we beg you to cook again. So then this Brahmana said, okay, I'll cook again. So second time he started cooking. He cooked huge offering, and then he again offered to his Gopal. He rang his bell, and as soon as he closed his eyes and he started saying the mantras, he opened his eyes and there was Nimai again sitting and eating the offering. And this time it was almost evening. And again the Brahmana shouted, hi, 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 this baby has again spoiled my offering. So then Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata said, what are we going to do with Nimai? Don't worry, Brahman Devta. Please, we are requesting you. Again, please cook. Then the Brahmana said, see, it is already evening. Evening has come in. So maybe my Lord doesn't want me to eat today. I'll just eat some fruits. It's okay. No problem. So then Jagannath Mishra started crying. And at that moment, Vishwarup, walked in. That time, Vishwarup was staying in the house. He had not yet taken sannyas and left the house. So Vishwarup came in and he said, Brahman Devta, if you don't eat something in the house, then it is very inauspicious for us as grihastas. So I am begging you, please cook again. And it is already night. So I am assuring you that I'll keep Nimai. Sachi Mata said, don't worry, I'll keep Nimai locked up in the room. He's almost asleep now, and I'll make sure that he sleeps. You please cook your offering. So the Brahman said, okay, he couldn't refuse the heartfelt plea of this beautiful boy, Vishwarup. And he said, okay, I will cook again. So the Brahmana cooked again, and by this time it was midnight. And then again the Brahmana rang his bell, and he was closing his eyes, and he's telling the Gopal mantra to, make the offering. And he opened his eyes, and he again saw baby Nimai eating the rice. And before he could say hi, Nimai said, shh. He said, every time, whenever I'm eating, you're saying hi. What is wrong with you? You call me first. And as soon as I start eating, you're saying hi. What's wrong with you? Then the Brahmana was shocked. He said, but Baba, I am not calling you. I'm calling Gopal. And then Nimai said, Arey Baba, I am only your Gopal. I am not different from Gopal. And then Lord Chaitanya, baby Nimai, he manifested his form as Vrindavana Chandra Shri Brajendra Nandana Gopal Krishna. And this Brahmana was so elated, and Krishna revealed to this Brahmana that in Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna was in Gokul, at that time also, this Brahmana had come to the house of Jashoda Maya and Nanda Baba, and they had similar exchange even at that time. So Krishna reminded the Brahmana of that pastime, and the Brahmana said, yes, my Lord, I remember. And that time, this Brahmana was told by Nimai that I have revealed the secret of me being Krishna. Now you don't reveal it to anybody. The Brahmana said, yes, I won't say it to anybody, but I will stay here for some time so that I can, participate in your Leela, and I can just be near you. And then in the middle of the night, this Brahmana was in supreme ecstasy, and he started putting all the rice on his body, and he was, this Mahaprasad on his body, and he was saying, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. And he was dancing in ecstasy. And Jagannath Mishra, Sachi Mata, everybody came in, and they saw this Brahmana. Is he okay? Did he go mad? And he said, no, everything is perfect. You are so fortunate. Please allow me to stay in your home for some days. And Jagannath Mishra said, of course, please, it is our fortune if you stay in our home. So like this, Nimai was drowning the inhabitants of Nadia in pools of ecstasy by his beautiful childhood pastimes. There's another very sweet pastime that one day, at this time, baby Nimai was just crawling. He was just crawling, and he was crawling outside, outside the courtyard, in the courtyard. And, Lord Nityananda, as Anantashesh, was feeling extreme separation from his Lord. So to, enjoy some intimate pastimes with his Lord, Anantashesh came. He came slithering in as a big, huge snake. And this huge snake came slithering, and Nimai just caught hold of the snake, and then the snake coiled up. And Nimai went and sat down on the coil. And he sat down on the coil, and then, the hood of the snake was above Nimai's head. And Sachi Mata, Jagannath Mishra, and all of the other ladies and the people of Nadia, they all came out, and they saw this, imagine from their point of view. They did not know that it was Anantashesh who had come. They were just seeing that there's this huge snake, And my child, my golden child, is in the clasp of this deadly poisonous snake. The snake could bite him, if not just eat him alive. Looks so dangerous. Imagine that condition. The heart of Sachi Mata had come outside her mouth. She was in terrible anxiety, seeing that, her child in the clasps of Anantashesh. And Nimai was, playing in the arms and in the lap of Anantashesh. He was so happy. But Anantashesh, from the corner of his eye, he saw the anxiety of Sachi Mata. And he couldn't tolerate that he was giving anxiety to Sachi Mata. So immediately he just put his hood down and he just, removed his coil and he just slithered away. He just went away. And Nimai started crying that, oh no, Anantashesh, don't go. And Anantashesh but did not look back, because he did not want that because of him, another devotee should be in anxiety. That is the lookout of Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas are so magnanimous that they forget their own happiness if it means that others will be happy. They would never want to put anybody else in any kind of anxiety if they are true Vaishnavas. That is what Anantashesh displayed in this particular pastime. Very beautiful pastime. Of course, there are more pastimes of, Lord Chaitanya being stolen by the thieves, who Lord Chaitanya just had a merry ride on their shoulder, seeing the entire Navadvip, because Lord Chaitanya, he was actually a baby at this time. So the thieves, when they carried him on the shoulder, Lord Chaitanya got a really nice view of the entire Nadia. And he had a very beautiful view, a very beautiful ride, and he was getting fed. Very nice sandesh. And then they came back to the same house and they dropped Lord Chaitanya back. How Lord Chaitanya bewildered these thieves. So like this, these are some of the, childhood pastimes. It can just go on and on and on, because Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes are an ocean of bliss. Lord Chaitanya's leelas, have you ever seen a coconut laddu? A laddu, whether you bite from the front or you bite from the back, bite from the side, you bite from anywhere, the laddu will taste sweet. So that is how Lord Chaitanya's leelas are. Whether it be the leelas in the Antya Leela, whether it be leelas in the Madhya Leela, or the leelas in the childhood pastimes. Any leelas of the Lord is just like sugar, sweet, nectarian leelas. So we just pray to Lord Chaitanya that this golden form of Sri Nimai be ever manifest in our heart. That's our prayer to Lord Chaitanya, that this golden child, this form of Sri Gaura Hari, be ever manifest in our heart, and we may seek shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the red lotus feet of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So we'll end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda ki jai. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The entire class was a notion of this, just like the coconut laddu. We just couldn't take off our ears even for a second. This really drowned us. Thank you. It was so nice to see you and see all the expressions and see how involved the Katha was. You made all of us really drown today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvachanam, Advaita Prabhupada. I just want to second what she said, that really made us drown today in Katha of Mahaprabhu. It was so much beautiful, the class was really awesome. Basically, it was not a class. It was just the pastime, the storytelling time. And, especially myself, I enjoyed every second of that time. How much you were saying, but seeing you and your expressions and just, you really brought the whole story, the whole pastime in front of us. And, you can just visualize it. How beautifully you narrated, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your efforts, for all your time, for your association.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I'm just actually repeating some of these highlights that I shared today are from the narrations of Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj and Srila Jayaprataka Swami Guru Maharaj. So just like a mindless parrot, I'm just repeating words that I've heard from both of them. So all glories to them, and all glories to all of you. So thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat. Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I thought that looking at you actually makes a big difference. So all through the class, I was not on the call, but I was on the video. That to ask questions, I came back from the call. I was just thinking that it is amazing to see the expression and the involvement while you were speaking. It's so beautiful. I had a question, Mataji.
Yes.
So the 8 children of Sachi who were not, like even in the case of Devaki, we know the story of where the 6 kids that were killed and how Krishna helped revive them. So is there a particular story about the 8 girls that Mother Sachi, could not give birth to, and since they were killed, is there any pastime with that, Mother?
Very nice question. I actually tried to do some research on it, but I've still not found anything substantial. Let me put it this way, that I have not found anything substantial that, the 8 daughters, they were all daughters that Sachi Mata gave birth to, that, of course, we know that Mother Devaki, she gave birth to the 6 sons who were the 6 Vasus. But who these 8 girls are and what is their significance, I'm still doing a little research on it. So I'll probably get back to you if I find anything substantial. But I've not found anything yet.
Sure, Mataji, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
class, Mataji. Looking forward to all of them.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kalasudha Mataji. Very, very wonderful. Thank you very much. A new voice and sound and vision. Very, very excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaumudiki Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mataji. It's okay, Mataji, you go ahead first. Hare Krishna, Kalasudha Mataji, Koti Thapat Pranam. As usual, Preeti Vilajini, Uttar Mataji, we are not qualified, but you always take us to Sri Chaitanya Dham and Sri Mayapur Dham, and just dubki laga kya hai, you are explaining so observe in the Katha, Mataji, that we are not qualified, but we see that Katha, Mataji, that much potency in your class, because your sadhana is that much strong, Mataji. Whenever class is complete, everything, Satyakam, Namami Prani, Sachi, Gaura.
Sure. Thank you so much, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Salam, all good to the big Guru Maharaj. And today once again, the class is so beautiful, Mataji. And I heard hearing the views that YouTube was their expressions and all. I was not on YouTube, but definitely will go back to watching that too. And in fact, yesterday only I was wanting to, the thought was in my mind that just like we have in Krishna pastime, Balram is there. So here the extension, what about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Does Nanda have some kind of pastime in the childhood? And that was always in my mind. And today you just kind of voiced it out and you showed me that pastime. So thank you so much, Mataji, for that. And thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Any more questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. This is Venkatapati from Hyderabad.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Mataji, this was a wonderful class. Thank you very much. One question I have. My Devesh was also listening to the class today. He's 10 years old. So when you were telling such wonderful pastimes where Jagannath Mishra did not chastise Swambar, so he was telling me that, Jagannath Mishra, father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, did not chastise his son. So why do you chastise me when, I do a little bit, mischief? Why can't you be like Jagannath Mishra? So what are we supposed to do?
Well, Jagannath Mishra, he actually chastised his son. He wanted to chastise his son. Of course, the illusory energy or the love of, Nimai was so high that he forgot to chastise Nimai. But he had picked up the stick to chastise Nimai. Of course, in the later part, where after Vishwarup took sannyas, at that time, Jagannath Mishra took on a very different mood. That he actually was, in the mood that he just wants to keep Nimai happy, that he didn't want to give any kind of reason to Nimai which would make him leave the house, like Vishwarup. So Jagannath Mishra was in that mood at that time. But Jagannath Mishra also said, when the Brahmanas told him that you are going to chastise your son, you're going to beat up your son, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Jagannath Mishra said that he may be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is my son. He is under my care right now. So I have to give him good culture. I have to train him so that, no one will be able to say that he did not grow up to be a good person. So that is the responsibility of parents, that they have to correct their children. And correction can be done in a good way, or if the children don't listen, then, tadayat is important. It means you have to chastise, but at the same time, if the child is already listening when the parent is telling nicely, then there's no need to chastise. But they wish, don't get ideas from Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes. You are already very sweetly naughty, but don't get any more ideas. But I'm sure that whatever Nana is doing for you, that, in your later years, when you grow up and when you become a father yourself, you will realize that what Nana is doing for you is the best for you, because Nana loves you. Right, Devesh? Not sure if Devesh heard that.
Mataji, I'm back on the conference call. So thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, actually the line got disconnected from the conference, but I will listen to the YouTube.
Okay. So I have one question. Hare Krishna, Keshavi.
Okay, that's it. Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, this class is really very wonderful, Mataji. Like, I felt like, I'm not, we are not like Parikshit Maharaj, but we feel like you are Shukadev Goswami and you are giving Bhagavad class, Bhagavad Katha. Really, we're getting tears in our eyes, Mataji, because we got this opportunity, because we are very far from where you live. Like you are in US and we are in India, and but we are able to hear you live. By looking at you, we are able to hear you. Really, really, very wonderful, Katha Mataji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Well, I'm don't deserve those words, but whatever little good you see is just a manifestation of the mercy of our spiritual masters, nothing else. But I just feel that, not only, I mean, you all are seeing me, but I feel very unfortunate that I'm not able to see all of you. I wish that I could see all of you and your smiling faces. That would give me so much more inspiration. But thank you so much. So I have a question from Shamala Gopika on the chat on YouTube. If I can just read that. This is Shamala Gopika. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. I really felt the live Leela happening in front of me. Such nectar you brought to us. I have one question. Which place Chaitanya Mahaprabhu born? In Navadvip or Mayapur? I just went once to Mayapur and one devotee told, don't listen to others as others say Navadvip. But he born in Mayapur and they took us to that place. So please clarify so that we can go to that place and get the blessings. Very nice question. So yes, Shamala Gopika, thank you so much for this question. The original appearance place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as has been clarified by our Acharya himself, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as you can see here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had a vision from Godrum Dweep. And, that house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is, straight across the TOVP, across our, you can see the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And from one day from his house, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he saw a bright light coming from one place. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he took his spiritual master, his Shiksha Guru, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, who was very, very old. He was 125 years old at that time, and he would sit like this, just like you can see here. He's sitting like this, all shriveled up, and, he couldn't even open his eyes because his eyebrows had drooped down, His eyebrows had drooped down and he couldn't even open his eyes, and he was so shriveled up. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually carried Jagannath Das Babaji on a basket on his head. And from the place where he saw the light, Bhaktivinoda Thakur just came and he inquired from the farmers around that place. That place was just a swampy area. And he came and inquired that, what is this place? And they said that, Thakur, we try to, cultivate this piece of land over here, but nothing grows here other than tulasi leaves. Only tulasi leaves grow. We tried to put in brinjal, we tried to put in, cultivate potatoes, so many crops, but nothing grows here except for tulasi. So hearing this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he just took down the basket from his head and he placed it on that ground. And Jagannath Das Babaji, who was 125 years old, he just got up and he just, started jumping in ecstasy. Such an old man. He started jumping in ecstasy, chanting Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. And this was proof for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that this is the appearance place of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which is in Mayapur, in Antardweep. Actually, on Friday, we will discuss more in detail about the Navadweep, the 9 islands of Navadweep, and we'll go on a virtual parikrama on Friday. So day after tomorrow, we'll do that. And that will make it even more clearer. But yes, the way the Ganges was flowing, and, of course, the Ganges flow has changed over the last 500 years. But, historically, yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur knew that this is the place, but he got confirmation, reaffirmation by his spiritual master, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, when he started jumping in ecstasy like this. And then they dug that place. They found the deity of Adhokshaja Vishnu. Adhokshaja Vishnu is the family deity of Jagannath Mishra. With Jagannath Mishra, he would worship Adhokshaja Vishnu. And that small deity, he's such a small brass deity of Vishnu, black stone deity of Lord Vishnu. And Jagannath Mishra is said to worship that. Until today, you go to Yoga Peeth in Mayapur, you can see that deity in Yoga Peeth. But somehow there are some smartas who claim that, on the opposite side of the Ganges, which is the town of Navadvip, there is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, which is not true. So, but the original one, which our acharyas have given confirmation, is Yoga Peeth in Mayapur in Antardvip. I hope that clarifies your question. Okay, she answered, okay, thank you. All right, any more questions? Okay, it's almost getting very late, so if there's no more questions, I'd just honor Vrinda Gopika Mataji's request for Sachi Sutashtakam, if that's okay.
Yes, Mataji.
All right. Nava Gauravaram Nava Pushpasaram Nava Bhavadharam Navalasya Param Navahasya-karam Navahemavaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Navahemayutam Nava Nitashucham Navaveshakritam Harinama Param Navadha Vilasat Shubha Premamayam Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram. Jai Sri Sachi Sutashtakam ki Jai, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Temple Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, and Hare Krishna for the beautiful class. Thank you so much.
Hare
We could
Krishna.
see your expression so nicely, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Very wonderful. Nice class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.
Let's offer obeisance to all Vaishnavas.